And today we're making what?
Salsa from?
Our tomatoes from the garden. We went out and picked them earlier, so these are all the tomatoes that you Lions planted back in January, February. They're becoming ripe, so we're ready to make some Cinco de Mayo salsa. Now, when we do this, Miss Howle, I would like to save the seeds because we're going to use the seeds from the tomato and the seeds from the pepper. We'll replant them in the garden and get another harvest in a couple of months.
Perfect.
What are we doing first?
Okay, so we have some tomatoes pre-cut. You're gonna go ahead and work on cutting the rest of the tomatoes. We can use this bowl to save any of the seeds that we want. When you make salsa, guys, you can make it however you want, whatever your tastes are. Some people like cilantro, some people don't. We are not gonna use cilantro today, but in place of it, we will use some parsley. This is flat leaf parsley. Spices you can include or not include. There are some wonderful lime type seasonings that you can use that are fantastic in salsa. I brought today cumin to use, and cumin is something that you will remember from your palate, your tongue, and when you taste. It's usually something you assimilate with cooking chili. Okay, right?
Yes.
I also brought some kosher salt. Always want to salt when you're doing this. Now, Miss Leon, can you tell them or show them how you're actually slicing these? What are you doing to
Yes.
slice?
I like to slice them in slices, but not too big, not too small. So I take a tomato, I cut off the top part where the
We call it the butt.
the butts. And I'm going to put the butt in our bowl because we're going to compost it in Riley Nelson's compost she made us. And then I just slice it probably in 3 or 4, about 7 or 6.
Depending on the size of your tomato.
And then so now I have all these slices, so then I turn it and then I'll slice it again.
So they look like about a 1/4 inch thick slices. It's however you like your salsa. Do you like it super chunky? If not, we'll talk about that in a minute. We can make it where it's not so chunky.
Yep, and then I just keep cutting it so they become little pieces.
Perfect.
And a lot of people are, like she said, I like my salsa chunky. So there's that. So I'm making my tomatoes chunky.
Perfect. Okay. Another thought process. We don't always, but I like to add color. When you come to my decorative desserts, we talk about not just a flavor palette, which is what you taste, but what it looks like, what it smells like, and a mouth feel. So you'll understand a mouth feel when you try one tomato and it's really, really a harder, has a bite to it is what we say, or when we see a mealy tomato, which is a really mushy tomato. I'm not really fond of mushy tomatoes.
Me either.
So with that in mind, I'm gonna go ahead, please guys, when you're doing this, if you're doing this, have mom or dad or somebody at home that's older help you with the knives, okay? Knives are important, but you wanna be careful. So there's several ways you can cut a pepper. I'm gonna make it easy today so that we can keep the middle intact. Okay, you cut a flat surface, then you're gonna cut your sides off. We can always steal the tops, no big deal, if we want, and I will take them.
Wow.
That is the first time I've seen that done, and it's a game changer for me.
That
in the
was
kitchen.
amazing.
I normally cut it in half and then have to dig everything out and make a mess.
So now, guys, let's really blow your mind. Ready?
That's why Miss Al's here.
So,
Teach
this,
us the right way.
I'm gonna move this. For this one, it's a one-stop shop, okay? You roll him.
Stop it.
Oh my.
He's mind blown, guys. So,
I like that better.
there you
Wow.
Wow.
go. And then you have the inside. You may have a little bit that's straight, no big deal. But,
I'm gonna go show them the seeds.
okay.
Tell me if you can see them, Miss Beavis. There?
Yep. Oh, yes.
So these seeds we're gonna take out and we will go and plant them in the garden. And what I like about peppers, I read this last night because I'm still learning too. What I learned about peppers is they don't need a lot of space in a garden because they grow up, and they're just like probably will grow about this tall, and you can get 4 or 5 peppers from one plant with only this much space. So that's good when you have a small garden, and we consider our garden sort of small.
Cool. All All right, with the peppers, guys, I'm doing the same as Miss Uliana was doing. I'm cutting my 1/4-inch strips, okay? Always have your claws so your fingers are not stuck out so that you can cut them off. Have a claw, and you will never cut your fingers.
What
okay?
kind of slice is that? Isn't that a name for that? Like a dice or a?
Julienne is what I start with, and then I do a dice, okay?
So julienne is long strips.
Long strips. And there are technicalities for it. Some, it's a size thing. There are some fun cuts that I think next year, if I get an older group of kiddos, we will learn some of those cuts. There is a special knife called a tournée knife. It cuts really cool looking football shaped tomatoes.
Football.
Football.
Just
And
like UCS football team.
the julienne knife actually looks like a bill, like it's curved.
Oh.
But
Like a beak?
It's small, like the size of a paring knife. So it's pretty neat.
Oh, I think I have one of those. I never knew what it was for.
Well,
So-
we're gonna practice, Miss Beavis.
Miss Oleano, I'm gonna leave this off to you to
Okay.
cut the rest of the peppers.
Thank you.
And I'm going to go for the onion. So guys, before you do all of this, you kind of rinse and wash your stuff off. I have taken the skin or the paper off of the onion. I am not gonna cut the end of the onion off. There are some tales about less tears, but I'm not worried about that. What we're going to do is we're gonna cut it in half and then I'm gonna slice off the top. I will tell you as a hint for me, we're going to make 1/4-inch slices all the way through. Be careful, you go slow. Typically, you don't go all the way down to the bottom, okay?
Oh, another fun fact.
You just, let me see if I can show you guys. Ready? We're closer, can you see me?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I have a layer here, a layer here, a layer here, and here, but it doesn't go all the way back, okay?
All
So-
time-saving tips for sure.
Absolutely. So the next step is to cut the 1/4-inch the opposite way. So here are my circular cuts. Now I'm gonna go this way and not to the end. And I'm gonna be careful, guys. Watch your fingers, please, when you're doing this. All right, so now, if you can imagine, see all the pieces falling off, guys? So now we just do it like a checkerboard. Down, and there's all my pieces cut, okay? All my pieces are the same size if I cut my strips the same size. See that?
So you don't take off that top purple layer then?
No, I've already done that when I peeled.
Okay.
It just depends on your onion. This wasn't actually, it was a pretty good onion. I will be honest, red onions are not my favorite, but what did I say in the beginning about the colors?
Yes.
We want
You want to
colors.
be appealing to the eye.
To the eye, not point with your knife.
So,
Fun fact.
I
If
love Miss Uliano's fun facts.
I'm looking for my other onion, but if you wanted to grow an onion,
I knew this was coming.
do you want to tell them?
No, I'll let you tell them.
And you cut this off, and then you take that part and you just sit the roots, because this was the roots, right?
Correct.
If you sit that root in just a little bit of water, it will start to grow. And then once it starts growing, you plant it in soil, and it will produce you a new onion.
So,
Also,
you might like to do that.
I think we should. If you like the scallions or the green onions,
Mm-hmm.
you chop off the little root part they have,
Right.
put it right in the ground,
Hmm.
and it will grow you
That's
new
so neat.
green onions. Yes,
That's so neat.
it's called recycling your veggies.
We love recycling.
Yes.
Okay, guys, this is the parsley that Miss Uliana brought from home.
Oh, actually, that is Miss Thomas wanted to donate that.
Oh! We're actually gonna just rake the parsley.
Oh my God. Maybe. Do we have a bigger bowl? Houston, we're gonna need a bigger bowl. So I brought us some jars, so hopefully I get to fill one up.
Absolutely.
Or I don't know if we want to give it to Mr. Emmons, because it's Principal Day today.
It is.
If he's gonna enjoy the salsa.
And I think, guys, instead of making some comments about what we're doing today about that, maybe you can make some happy little wishes for Mr. Emmons for today, okay? I think that's a great idea. So if you've seen what I've done is I've just rolled this up, really, and then just gonna chop it like this. Okay, once you've done it that way, you can actually put your fingers on it and turn it as a mass. And then what you've probably seen everybody do is go across the board. Believe it or not, even though these are leaves, this actually dulls your knife pretty good. I sharpen my knives every day that I use them, and I'll re-sharpen it, especially after I've done herbs.
Really?
Yeah, because you're actually beating on this board, and it's not the herbs that are doing it, it's the...
Oh, I've learned 3 different things today.
So many different things.
What can you learn in Mrs. Owl's cookbook?
I have to start paying attention.
So, Miss Uliana, do you like the cut on that? Is
I
that
do,
good for
that's
you?
fine for me.
Okay, so we
Now,
just scrape it
Miss
together.
Beavis likes cilantro. Do you want us to make you a different batch without parsley, or are you okay with the parsley as well?
That's okay. Make it with the parsley and I'll taste it because I don't think I've ever tasted it with parsley before.
Okay.
Not that I know of. Go
But
for it.
Let's go back to color. Miss
Show
Uliana.
them, you want me to?
Yes.
Are you
here's your
sure?
spoon.
Can I show them this first?
Please.
Wow, is that not
Oh, that's
gorgeous? Doesn't the
Look at
green
colors.
the green just pops and adds something
Yeah,
different to it
that's
because
really
it was
pretty.
sort of tomato or red and
Right.
orange. I love it.
Now watch what happens.
You wanna do it?
The one thing that we didn't add is a yellow pepper. You could have added that as well. That would have been beautiful in here. Or some types of jalapenos, any
Ooh.
type of hot pepper that you like, ghost peppers, scotch bonnets. Watch out for the heat, guys. Watch your Scoville scales if you're not good with heat, okay?
Fun fact, we have planted a jalapeno plant in the garden as requested by Miss Jones. And
But
why
that's
would
okay.
we look for a blossom?
Guys, what happens when flowers blossom onto our plants? That is actually going to turn in to our fruit or our veggie, whichever it may be. So,
What if you put black beans in it? Does it turn it into something different than a salsa? If you have a protein in your salsa,
Is that a trick question?
is that a
It-
meal or
it
is
is
that
a trick
salsa?
question that Miss Beavis wants to know. Really, Miss Beavis, when we add those black beans to salsa, and it's a recipe I might have given you, we have black bean soup.
Oh, I love the black bean soup. I love your black bean
is
soup.
amazing, guys. Matter of fact, we may make it one day. It's super,
Mhm.
super easy.
Yep.
You can make it from scratch, but with the black bean soup that I make, it's really a lot of canned ingredients, which saves you time. Opening a bunch of cans.
Mhm.
That's really all you do.
It's
Well,
really
if
good,
you would
too.
like to have the black bean soup recipe made for you in the next coming weeks, make a comment, like, or a reply on our Makerspace page.
Yes.
If you're not
So
looking-
delicious.
And on the YouTube, they can actually just do replies under your segment when we post it.
Yay! Okay, so now what's left, Miss Alana?
Salt, kosher salt. Now, I like kosher salt because it's thicker, and I'm a salt fiend. I love it.
Me too.
So, you want to tell me when to stop?
You do what you feel is good.
Oh, why? Because
What happens, guys, when we add the salt to this, though?
ooh, what?
So,
What?
I actually think that's something that we should pose and just leave it there. And you tell me, and you can take almost any vegetable. Oh, here's a favorite. Take some cucumbers.
Oh,
Take
oh,
some
yes.
cucumbers and add some salt to it and see what happens.
It's,
Let it
it's
sit.
an experiment.
It
You're going to
is.
observe.
And there is a
before and
chemical thing
after.
that happens.
I like it.
So you're gonna see what happens, and if you guys are smart enough to let me know, maybe that person, I will find a specific recipe just for you
Oh.
and share it with you,
Mhm.
okay?
Can you add, I'm going to be picky today. Can you add a little cumin to a bite? Because I don't know if I'm a cumin fan.
Okay,
Can I just taste it like that?
absolutely you can. Now, spices and herbs,
I'm going to use my hands.
they will develop, is what we say, after a while in it, so it's not as potent as it will be maybe 4 hours from now.
I would not like that in my salsa.
Okay, so we will not add it in the salsa, but
And I can take my jar,
you're fine.
and then you can add it in the next jar.
And she wants more salt, but that's okay because I love salt.
Is that enough, do you think? Because you saw me the first time.
Did you taste it?
I did, and it needed more. Maybe you need to
So
taste it.
I think maybe you should put some more in
Ooh, that's pretty.
on this beautiful looking
That is
salsa.
pretty.
Let's see.
I'm so excited.